Good evening. This is your ELPA 6872 Computer Kung Fu Master, and tonight's topic is technology and ethics. While we can create computers and see a work of art and replicate it via 3D printers, and we have devices now that can hear a symphony and separate out each individual tone and note, we have not yet created computers that are truly discriminating. Our current technology can aggregate human responses, analyze form and interval and symmetry, create ratios and tables that show what we've liked in the past and even the likelihood of future trends. However, we have yet to have created hardware or software that is able to form individual, independent opinions about the aesthetic merit or beauty or worth of a thing. That is a function that, as of now, can only be fulfilled by the human element. Similarly, we cannot ask our computer to tell us what the higher road in a moral dilemma might be. We might be able to get the computer to analyze the issue, to determine possible alternatives, even to consider the effect of an almost endless array of variables, either singly or in combination, and then seek the shortest, the cheapest, or the most efficient outcome, or even its opposite. However, when there's no checkbox for the most humane response, there's not a golden rule default response. And sometimes doing the right thing requires going against every easy thing in the world. Technology is a tool that requires careful human guidance in terms of timing, audience, and intent, among other things. There are countless examples of technology being used in situations where just because we can doesn't mean we should might be a better way of thinking. For an example of this, one need look no further than last week's tragedy in Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia, where two young men from Tennessee High lost their lives in a car wreck on the way to a band concert for the football game. While these young boys' bodies were being cut from the wrecked car and it was loaded onto a wrecker to be hauled away, a news reporter was already publishing photos of the car, alongside a short article telling where the incident happened. While the victims' mothers were made aware of the situation by police, several other parents in this small, close-knit town found out about the wreck nearly simultaneously, without being able to find out if the names that weren't yet published belonged to their own children. Obviously, in the previous era of morning and afternoon television and radio news and a daily newspaper, this could not have happened. It's important to think through how others may perceive one's use of technology, and to remember how ubiquitous and wide-reaching the internet is. A responsible use of technology might include asking whether the news one is sending out to the whole world might be better kept to oneself for just a bit. Another way that technology can be used irresponsibly is through the careless sharing of privileged information on social media. A few years ago, a situation arose involving a couple of friends who were using Facebook to discuss a situation where one felt she had been unfairly treated. A carefully generic pity party ensued. However, when a third party started joining the conversation and making very specific complaints about a teacher in a department they all took classes in, it didn't take long to realize that the person the third student was complaining about was actually lurking in the background and even reading the comments. The outcome of the situation was that two people who were involved in the original conversation found themselves in the middle of an awkward and heated social and professional environment, simply because they had chosen to have what should have been a private conversation in what was actually a really public venue. Then they made the situation worse by not shutting down the negative and unprofessional talk of the latecomer. I know, because I was one of those two girls. Of course, issues of technology and ethics are not limited to individual concerns. To see this, the recent Edward Snowden NSA discussion serves as an example. At what point does security override privacy? Moreover, when one types something into an internet forum or uses their phone to make a call over the internet or telephone lines, is one really entitled to an expectation of privacy at all? Is the act of introducing a carrier into the conversation the equivalent of asking a stranger to carry a verbal secret from you to your friend while expecting the stranger not to acknowledge the content of that message at all. Before you say something in a phone call, email, or other mediated communication, ask yourself if it could be misunderstood or looked askance at if overheard. Think about the fallout of a bad decision, not only in terms of how it could affect your own life or career, but also how your conversation partner could be affected by it. These are some of the questions we must at least try to answer as we move further into the realm of technical assistance in every facet of our lives. Perhaps our only real options are to live as transparently as possible without using technology to share things that are speculative, mean, or open to wild misinterpretation. In fact, that might just be a good idea regardless. This has been your Computer Kung Fu Master, Natasha Snyder, with a word on technology and ethics. Good night and good luck.